Das ist Heike, die gehört zu mir. How are you?
We can be here. It's still almost warm.
Almost.
Almost.
It's getting winter.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time.
Oh no, thank you.
And just a few questions. I have a small radio show.
Yes.
And specialize on metal.
Nice.
And that's why I asked for an interview with you.
That's great. Not too many of those shows left anymore.
That's true.
They are
That's true.
becoming like this endangered species almost.
Okay. Do you speak German?
Nur bisschen. Ich verstehe.
That's cool. Because I heard you know some words.
Yeah, I can manage in restaurants and like small talk, but
Okay.
that's about it.
So, are you ready to start the interview?
Yes.
Okay. Check. Yes. Hello. Hello, Mikko. Welcome to Frankfurt. How are you?
I'm doing great. We are just starting our tour. This is the fourth show of Shadowmaker Tour Europe, and we are really excited and proud of what we are doing.
That's nice to hear. First of all, my question is, how do you like Frankfurt? Did you have any choice to look around Frankfurt, or just came in the nightliner and?
Unfortunately, this time, as the venue is a bit on the outskirts of the town, we didn't have a chance to go to the actual city. But we went for a run to jog around this area, and we found really nice, like forest. It was almost Tolkienish kind of a vibe in there. That was nice. I've been, of course, in Frankfurt many times, and even though it's very business-orientated city, there are nice parts as well.
So, did you ever have a chance to meet Hessian? Because this is not the capital of Hessian, but it should be. Did you have any choice to find out the local culture, like Apfelwein? Have you heard of Apfelwein?
Oh yeah, I have had Apfelwein, of course. We have been blessed in a way that we have had a German crew, or parts of our crew have always been German. So we have persons from different areas of Germany, and our previous monitor engineer was from Frankfurt. Hello, Ahim. And we always, of course, we are interested of local foods and drinks and whatnot. And we've been therefore being introduced also.
All right. So let's come to the new album, Shadowmaker. In my opinion, is the best album Apocalyptica made by now. And House of Chains and Come Back Down are my two favorites. I like the aggressive vocals from Frankie. So let me come to a point. Now you have a singer in the band who will stay with the band, hopefully. He's a good singer. And but how did this decision come to have a singer in the band who will be with the band all the time, like a member of the band?
I think it's been a long process, and I think every kind of step we have taken has been sort of inevitable in this path. And like after we've done maybe 25 different vocal collaborations, when we started to make this album, of course we thought that okay, who could be the singers, and it felt that that's the easiest decision we can do, that we just continue the same way and we don't challenge ourselves. And when we listened to the songs we started to write, there was in the very beginning already there was quite a lot of vocal tracks what we wrote, and we thought that what about an idea that we have just one voice and not the separate voice, that it would be much more like a whole story, and that would carry from the beginning of the album to the end of the album, and it wouldn't bounce from different styles and different sounds, but to have this one voice. And it took a while to sort of convince ourselves. We were doubting ourselves whether it's a right or wrong decision, and then we finally found, or then we started to look for singers. We didn't want to do an open audition because we would be drowned in the tapes and demos. So we kind of put the word into the inside of the business to the people we know and who knows our style. So we asked them who are free, who are the persons who would be great but who are not booked into a band. And that's of course tricky things, because the best guys are always booked in, and all of a sudden we find Frankie, who of course he's been performing with a bunch of artists from Scars on Broadway to Slash's band and whatnot. He's been all over the place, but he was at the time free and he was interested. He had seen us playing live. Actually, we played the same gig in can't recall the festival in Germany which we played. Area Fear, I think. Area Fear.
Yeah.
Area 4.
Area 4 festival.
Yeah, exactly. And some years back, and then he was with Scars on Broadway, and we were playing there, and he had seen us and was interested, and he did a demo for us of his vocals, and we were like, he was so good that we were skeptical whether he really wants to play with us because we thought that he's not in our league anymore, but he's that good, and but he was really interested, and then we had 3 gigs in Canada, and we thought, okay, that's a trial, like kind of like how it will fit in. But from the first show on, it was like just so easy, so simple, easygoing, absolute professional guy, like and doing this for the right reasons, which is music alone, and that's great.
Okay, cool. That brings me to a point. I mean, if you get a new singer, everything changes in the way I think. So, did it had any effort to your music? Did it, or was the music first and the vocals came on it? And
It went both ways. We had lots of songs written before Frankie joined in, but then we went to a pre-production to Nashville with our producer, Nick Raskulinex, and then in that pre-production, some of the instrumental tracks then all of a sudden turned out to be vocal tracks. For instance, Dead Man's Eyes, which is the last song on the album, was originally 2 instrumental songs, and then they turned out to be 1 vocal track. And that kind of things happen. So when he was around, he was very, very like organic part of the album making. We wanted to have him in it. We felt that it makes no sense that we want to have a guy who really takes part and then we keep him out. We wanted to have him inside, and he was he's very sensitive. He knows when to step back and when to give room and when to come in with ideas, and so it went both ways all the time, and it was like a breathing organism how it worked. And
I think that's the way it should be, isn't it?
yeah, I think so as well. When you do music, you just when the decision is done that this is the path we are going to go, then you cannot press the brake anymore. Then it's just full throttle, and then you see where you end up.
Wow. You just named Nick Raskulinex.
Yeah.
I don't know if I spelled the last name.
I think his family is from Poland, so they would pronounce it differently. But as he's as American as anyone can be, he pronounces his name Raskulinex.
Raskulinex.
Yes.
I was surprised by the that you have chosen him because I know some productions from him. Of course, Rush.
Of course.
Did some good stuff, and he did some soundtracks as well, I guess. And the production sounds amazing, definitely. How did you get the idea to work with Nick, and how was it to work with him, especially?
We had few guys in place we wanted to try. His work with Rush, Mastodon, of course Foo Fighters, and Deftones. They were the ones that we really were interested in of the sound. When we were before already we chose a producer. We listened to lots of like music that we were searching for a sound, like a soundscape, and we actually chose a mixing engineer before we chose a producer. We wanted to Greg Fidelman, who has mixed the album. He was kind of like our #1 mixing choice, as he's done Slipknot and he's done Dixie Chicks, all these like recruitment productions, and we wanted to kind of capture this intimate, in your face, very like documentative kind of a sound, and which comes so close, and we knew he can do it, and then we knew that Nick is able to really he's master in like making song structures. He's so influential guy. He's like a mad professor. He's all the time when we had a rehearsals. He's in the room. He conducts. Then he cuts the song and let's go. Okay, let's do this part, but play double time. Play twice as fast. Do this time. Do it 3 times more. And now then he says, I need to go to pick up my kids from the school. But now when I come back, I want that there's 2 minutes of a progressive rock part in the middle of this song. And, he's great. He's absolutely amazingly inspiring person. And it was great. We stayed in Franklin, which is just next to Nashville, in States, and we had this small, like a cabin where we stayed in the middle of the forest in a small village next to Franklin, which is a small village next to Nashville. So it was really countryside, and we kind of were integrated into that commune of people, and we got to know our neighbors and local farmers, and the farmers come in. We had all the time doors open, so when we come back from the studio, in our kitchen there might be people just having beer, and they had then our neighbor, when he went to he was a hunter, and he invites, hey, I just got the deer today, come to eat, and he was barbecuing a deer, and it was really amazing. And then the piece we had in Nick's studio, he has got a great studio over there, and we spent some 12-hour days over there, always drove there in the morning and worked until needed, and then came back very intense, and so inspiring.
So that sounds very familiar, because I thought you go to the studio, you're strict working, and no contact to the outside, but sounds like you had a lot of fun there.
It was lots of working. We had one off-day maximum a week, and we were there for 6 weeks. So, but every now and again it happens that when I was recording, the guys were having free time. When Eka was playing his parts, the others having free time. So it was kind of we had our turns when everybody was working. So that gave us a possibility to really get to know the people, and the people over there. This southern hospitality, which is so much talked about, it's really in flesh and blood, and that's their approach. And they were, even though they were very countryside people, but open arms and open heart, and it was great experience to meet those people.
Very cool. All right. As I already told you, I like your new album a lot, more than every other before. And for the listeners of my show, I would like you to describe in a few words, just maybe one sentence, the following songs of Shadowmaker. Actually, it's all of them.
Yeah.
All right. So, tell me what you think about Cold Blood.
Cold Blood is brutal, like modern rock anthem, which has got contemporary dance vibe with evil twist.
All right. sounds a bit strange, but okay. Shadowmaker.
Shadowmaker describes the best what Apocalyptica is 2015. That's the core of which we are at the moment.
Slow Burn.
Slow Burn is more typical Apocalyptica ballad with the with the tones in it that has been in Apocalyptica since the very beginning.
Reign of Fear.
Reign of Fear is the metal track of this album. We were even skeptical, is it too metal for the album, but no, it's not, and it's our opening track for the show tonight.
Wow. But I agree with you, it's the metal track on
Yes.
this album. Definitely. Hole in My Soul.
Hole in My Soul is Eika wrote it together with one Swedish guy, and he was afraid to present it to us because he thought it was too pop track then again, and we all felt that it's the most beautiful piece, and we feel that that could be kind of the bittersweet of this album. Like, it's really beautiful, and there's the cello is really in the front, and it's a romantic side of Apocalyptica.
The romantic side of Apocalyptica. Okay. House of Change, my favorite song.
House of Change is great, very groovy track where Frankie's vocals are excellent. It's really his territory, I think.
Yeah. Okay. You see that. Riot Lights.
Riot Lights is, I think it's artistically very daring, and that's contemporary music. It's like flirting a lot with dance music and electro and techno, and its working title was techno we started to record it, and it's maybe my favorite track to play in the show.
All right, so we're gonna hear it tonight.
Yes, and see, there's a great visuals in it as well. So.
All right, I'm excited already. Come back down.
Come back down. That's sort of, for me, it's like a cousin of House of Change. They, to me, they are like a pair, and maybe it wouldn't work without each other. They are great in combination when they are on the album together.
Are you going to play it tonight?
No.
All right, the C song.
C song. Eka wrote it together with a British composer who's most known of his collaborations with Britney Spears and Madonna and this like modern electro pop and Guy Sixworth, and I'm a huge fan of Guy Sixworth from his pop stuff he has done, like Madonna's music. There is one track, and Britney's every time is his song, and I really like his stuff. And he has done Broken Pieces. It's also a song which Eka did together with him, and when they work together they always find some way of using cello in very fresh and like way that we cannot come up with ourselves. I really adore that guy, and I really like the song.
Okay. Till Death Do Us Apart. That's a nice song also.
I really like it. It's a Perttu's track, and it's a trip of its own. It's like a journey from very beginning. It takes you like it's like flying through some countryside fields into the city with like some super fast plane. It takes you to the different places and different sceneries and emotional landscapes. It's a trip, that song.
Nice. And that. Sorry, can't read my own.
Dead Man's Eyes.
Dead Man's Eyes. Yes.
That's the song which turned out to be a vocal track, which it used to be two different instrumental tracks, which we were almost leaving out of the album because they didn't seem to fit in. But when Frankie was already in the process, him and Perttu worked that song out to be a vocal track, one vocal track, and as an arrangement, I think it's the most or the best succeeded song in Shadowmaker. It's so it could, for me, it could be a Coldplay track. It's with of course with more force because it's us, but it has got very amazing production and arrangement, and that's as it ends the album. We feel it's after that there's nothing that can be said anymore. So that's also the last song of the show.
That's the final point.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. How long will you be on tour now after this show now?
We are. I think we have 51 shows more this year. So this European part is 29 more, I guess, which is 5 weeks, a little less, and then we have a week of 1 week Finnish tour, 1 week UK tour, 2 week Russian tour. Then we have a winter or Christmas break, and then we start from Japan in January.
Oh, that sounds very hard work.
It's a lot, but we had a very easy summer. It's paced a bit funnily the first year of course when the album is released and we are supposed to be in a billion different places at the same time, so it becomes very packed. The beginning of the year was crazy all the way up till mid of June. We were in the States over 2 months, and in Australia, in Mexico, in every place, and summer was easy. Now the fall is hectic. Next year hopefully is more reasonable, but it's fun, and we are as said, we are really proud to be out with this album and the production we are having on the road now, and I think we are in a better shape that we never before.
I will see that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Last question. What will we expect, or what can we expect as fans into the future?
Shadowmaker tour, or the cycle with this album, will lead into 2016, at least to the summer or end of summer. And next year, next fall, we will have the anniversary of the first Apocalyptica album, Plays Metallica by 4 Cello. 20 years of that release, and we are going to have some celebrations to be announced for the next fall. That's going to be something big we are planning and building up already now, which I cannot tell you yet, but it will be announced a bit later this year. And so that's kind of where we know where we are going. After that, of course, we continue doing, and we are planning to release the next album 2017 fall, but that's all just in paper. But until end of next year, it will be Shadowmaker, and it will kind of the climax will be the 20 years celebration of
Apocalyptica.
yes.
Yeah, looking forward for that.
Me too.
I was very surprised when I bought the first album, Metallica cover. I was like, wow, that's cool. Metallica and cello. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mikko, for
Thank
your
you.
time
Thank you.
and for that very interesting interview, of course. I wish you all the best for the future and for Apocalyptica as well. Stay cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thanks for your time. I hope you enjoy the show.
I did. Thank you.